From the station that made country music famous, 650 AM WSM, this is a Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Hi, it's Charlie Mattos, and in this episode we sit down with Ricky Skaggs, Country Music Hall of Famer, Bluegrass Hall of Famer, a member of the Musicians Hall of Fame, and a longtime member of the Grand Ole Opry. Saturday, April the 18th, it will be Ricky Skaggs and Dailey and Vincent, another special acoustic performance of the Grand Ole Opry. And Ricky joined us on our studio hotline. We started with the question that we seem to ask everyone these days in the time of COVID-19. Ricky, are you and Sharon hanging in there?
Well, we are. We're not doing a lot of social distancing between us and the refrigerator, but it's a little too easy to get up and get bored and go get something to nap on, you know. But we're doing good. We're just kind of staying here at home, getting out grocery store every so often, and wearing our mask when we go out. We're trying to do the right thing. And of course, Mr. Buck's been living here with us, for about 2.5 years, and so we're trying to keep him safe and sound.
We had Charlie Daniels on a week ago, and Joe Smith asked a great question. He asked him, have you found any words of wisdom in Scripture, or maybe just some thoughts, some wise words that have been comforting during this time? And I thought, well, that's a perfect question to ask Ricky Skaggs this morning too.
Well, I don't believe God caused this, but I think he's using it. I really do. I think he's using every bit of this. And, you think about the Passover that we just came through. Mm-hmm. The very first Passover was getting the children of Israel, out of Egypt. They had to sacrifice a lamb and then take the blood and put over the doorpost and the lintel and down the doorpost and that the death angel would pass over all that had the blood on their household, and it's such a picture of Christ at Passover over 2,000 years ago. He was the perfect lamb. He was the blemishless, spotless lamb, and he sacrificed himself for us, and through our faith in him, we have blood over our doorpost and over our homes and over our families, and so that's one of the things that really struck me, and just the fact that the whole world basically was in their homes during this last Passover, and it was the first time in all the years that it was like the first Passover, and the children of Israel was in Goshen, in Egypt. So it's a very prophetic time, and there's a scripture, and I think it's the second verse of Haggai. It says, "I'll shake all the nations. I'll shake, all of the nations." And he didn't say just some of them. He said, "I'll shake the nations." And so I think he is trying to wake us up. I mean, when someone is pretty much dead asleep, you have to shake them to get them awake. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like we've really gone through a shaking, but it's been so wonderful to have this time with our families. I was telling Sharon, I said, do you know a time that you and I have been together this much since we got married? And we cannot think of a time that we've been together every day for the last about 8 weeks now. Our last show we played was way back in mid-March in Santa Cruz, California. So we've been home every day since, and it's been wonderful.
Well, I've got a little guy. He's going to turn 7 next week. And I told my wife almost verbatim the same thing. I said, we will never get this much quality, concentrated time together as a family until we both retire, and then by that time Jackson's going to be out of the house. So while this is not by our choosing, let's try and embrace maybe what is a gift that's been given to us in this really tough situation that a lot of people are going through. So
amen. Yeah. And it's been sad. There have been things about this. It's been a bit saddening, but there's joy in it as well. And my road manager, Grant Hartford, he and his wife just had a little baby girl, Parker, but her mom and dad and his mom and dad couldn't be there for the birthing and all, and Grant showed me a picture. They brought her home a couple of 3 or 4 days ago, and he took a picture of of Parker and Caroline sitting in a windowsill, and Caroline's brother that hadn't got to see Parker yet, standing on the outside of the window looking in at baby Parker. And man, it really brought it home, just how weird and how strange that this is in our life right now.
Yeah. Well, and it'd be hard not to mention we lost Joe Diffie, we lost John Prine as well in the last couple of weeks as well, and I know those are both special people to you, and I know. Yeah. I know it'll be special to get back on that Opry stage, too. It'd be a little surreal. I kind of tell somebody, well, it's kind of like doing a sound check, except sound check is the show. There's still nobody out there in the crowd, but there are so many people not only listening on WSM, but watching the stream on Circle at Circle All Access. So it's going to be a really special night Saturday night with you and Dailey and Vincent.
Yeah, I haven't played to an empty house in probably 40 years of touring. But the early days, But no, we're looking forward to it so much. Getting to play with Jamie and Darren, and I love them guys, and they're members of the Opry now, and I'm just so proud of them. They're just doing so great, and we've been talking on the phone about what songs we're going to do, and so we're really excited about it. Jeff Taylor and Andy Leftwich. And Seth Taylor's going to join us, so it's going to be a kind of a full band for what the Opry's been doing, and so it's kind of a fuller sounding thing, bigger sounding thing, and so I'm pretty excited about that.
Jeff Taylor's great. There's not many two guys who can transfer from Kentucky Thunder to Riders in the Sky on occasion. Now that's the spectrum right there, huh?
He is amazing. He absolutely is amazing. Yeah. Yes, he is.
In your intro, I mentioned several of the Hall of Fames and Grand Ole Opry star. The one that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle is your induction a few years ago into the Musicians Hall of Fame, and I know that's one that really hits home for you because at the core, you are a musician.
That means a lot to me. Yeah. And the thing about it is, with the Musicians Hall of Fame, you're voted on by your peers, by people, other musicians. They're the ones that all sit on a voting committee and everything, but they're all musicians. They're not like business people or heads of record labels and that kind of stuff, And so to me, it really means more to me as a musician than any other reward as far as a musician goes. It's really exciting to get to know I have that.
Well, I'll leave you on this note. You mentioned frequent trips to the fridge. We have suffered the same fate. I think I am single-handedly keeping the Donut Den in Green Hills in business. But is there been one particular food or beverage that has been the go-to over the last month or so?
Charlie, I tell you one thing. Of course, Sharon has been cooking up a storm. She's a great cook and loves to cook new things that she hasn't tried before and all that, which is just great. And of course, we're willing participants, me and Mr. Buck, so we're gonna eat anything she cooks, But we've really been trying to patronize our local restaurants and going and picking up takeout and stuff here at home or having it delivered. And so we've been doing Cafe Rocca, we've been doing Carrabba's, we've been doing we did Longhorn up in yesterday up at Rivergate, and so we're really trying to help our local restaurants to be able to stay in business and just thank them for serving,
Well, we are looking forward to Saturday night. Mike Terry will be at the podium. I've gotten to the last two Saturdays, but Mike will be there this Saturday for Ricky Skaggs and Dailey and Vincent. 7 o'clock. You can catch every minute of it right here on 650 AM WSM and stream it live. Circle Television, Circle All Access. Ricky, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your time this morning. We'll see you Saturday at the Opry.
Thanks so much, buddy. Good to talk with you.
Thanks for listening to our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Our program director at WSM Radio is J. Patrick Tittle. Our digital producer is Haley Hall. Marketing and promotions director is Amanda Cannon. And I'm Charlie Mattos. If you like what you've heard, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And leave us a review on iTunes. It really does help new people find the show.